Oh, the shop's a mess. But look at this. A ceiling. You know what the ceiling means? Heat. Should have it this weekend. New workbench. It looks disheveled right now, but I am going through and cleaning stuff up. I did want to do a quick tour of my toolbox. I was a mechanic in the military in the 90s, and I've done heavy duty diesel. I've done trailer, semi-trailer. I've done automotive. I've done lawn and garden. I've done a lot, over the last 25 years. And you see some of these boxes, and they're just ridiculously big and just crammed absolutely full of tools. And I kind of wanted to do a video because you don't need that, especially the new guy starting out. There's some things that I think you should buy name brand. There's some things that you shouldn't. And I'm getting ready to do a bunch of changes with some different tools because I've got 57,000 different ones. I mean, I don't think you can see it, but that green box down there, it's a big chest. And there's another chest right there. And this toolbox is all full of just random wrenches and sockets and sets and extra stuff. But what I got? One thing I think you should spend money on are pry bars. And 90% of my stuff is Snap-on, just because I had a really good Snap-on guy. I think I use these for like steel chainsaws, Torx bits. And these are fine. These are Pittsburgh. It was no big deal. Little junk drawer. And I've moved this box so some of this stuff isn't. Picks. I've had some cheap ones that work fine. I got this kit off the Snap-on truck. It is picks and little screwdrivers. Only reason I got this was because it was either on sale or a repo. My guy had a lot of stuff that was turned in or traded in, so I bought a lot of my stuff used. Punches. I went Harbor Freight with most of them. Some of this stuff too you can get second hand. You can buy junk tool lots and get different things that are really good. Pliers are all over the place. You get into what I would call a specialty plier, something like this, for hose clamp or, a fuel line crimp tool. I've got some old stuff that was my father's in here. I've never actually used them, but I keep them, hog ring pliers just because. Snap ring pliers. I did buy the Snap-on set. Mainly because of their warranty. Like I say, having the Snap-on guy come by twice a week, it was nice if I broke anything, tips off of them. I will say I haven't broken any of them since I quit turning wrenches. I do stuff on the side, but nothing, professionally anymore. Pliers. I went through, this was just a set of Blue Point, and I'm missing some stuff. And a lot of that is because I had my toolbox when I quit turning wrenches full time over at our family shop, and a bunch of stuff came up missing. Not like anybody stole it, just a matter of, stuff getting misplaced. No brand on channel locks. Channel locks, I would go with something like actual Vice Grip brand. Some of this stuff, this came off a tool truck, but it's not Snap-on. It's a thing to move chute fasteners. See, shit like this irritates me because I don't lose wrenches. I've had this set for like ever. It's one of the first things I bought. It was an 8mm through 19. I actually had to buy the 7mm separate, if I remember correctly. Just a lot of small dash fasteners when I was building vehicles for disabled people had 7mm while I had that. I went with gear wrench for my ratchet wrenches. I like the reversible ones. I tell you, I haven't been able to find them, but these have a little lip on there, so they will actually hold a nut in here. Works great for when you're putting stuff. This set was a partial repo set, and it was missing a couple ones. I've got like my 9/16 here is actually a Husky. And then somehow I've ended up with 2 3/4. And that one looks brand new, so I don't even know where that came from. See, that one doesn't have a lip. You know, just a basic set of wrenches. You know, this is 3/8 up to, I think, 7/8. Yeah, 7/8. I mean, years work perfect. Sockets, I'm all over the place. I'm not big on the black impact. I beat the hell out of my Snap-on, and I've only broken maybe one socket that I can remember. Let's see that Snap-on. This is a Craftsman set. So my deeps are Snap-on, my shallows are Craftsman. This is actually new Craftsman. I'm pretty sure these are Craftsman too. Pittsburgh for a 1/4 metric, or a 1/4 deep or shallow. Now, 99% of my sockets are all 6-point. That's what I prefer. I've got a set of 12-point 3/8. They're put up in the other cabinet, and I just prefer the 6-point. You know, these are also Craftsman. It's all Snap-on. These impact sockets were actually, I don't even know where these came from. I think Harbor Freight, and I hate them because they have horrible writing on them that has worn off. You know, you always have the big sockets. These are 33 millimeter. This is for like semi-truck tires. And this is a Harbor Freight set. And I've had that forever. And it's worked fine. All over the place on drill bits and nut drivers. I do a lot of the DeWalt stuff just because it's easily accessible. You know, some of these long ones I went through and got off Amazon. You know, I didn't have Amazon when I started, or at least not readily accessible. You know, gear puller, filter wrenches, you know, some of it's specialty Detroit. This Snap-on filter wrench right here has been absolutely spectacular. That was one of the first things I got. I think I'm on my 3rd strap, and it's actually due again. They get frayed at the ends, and they get stuck up in there. Ratchets, I'm all over the place. Like I said, I know Jackson's lost a couple of them. My absolute favorite ratchet is a Matco. It's funny, I got all Snap-on stuff, you know, name brand wise, except for my ratchet, and it's a Matco. And that's the fine tooth, the 100 and something tooth. Even some of this older stuff. You know, this is a Channel Lock brand, and it's a beast of a ratchet. It's 90 tooth. Wobble extensions, they're Snap-on. The other ones, I'd like to find them. They're around here somewhere. When I was doing small engines, I did get a Matco spark plug set. Just because it had the built-in swivel. That's the main one that I used. Now, you know, you get some crap like this Snap-on extension that's like 2 foot. That was ridiculously expensive. This right here is a Craftsman. I wonder if this is made in USA. I bet it's not, because I think all the ones that said made in USA actually have it stamped on there. But this, I was on a road call and needed a breaker bar, and they didn't have one. And I got this at like an Ace Hardware. I was hours away from the house. You know, I've had it for years. Screwdrivers, I am all over the place on that too. The wife got me this set last year, the year before. It's a little bit better quality. Screwdriver, been happy with those. I'm real picky about my handles. My favorite set are actually these Harbor Freight ones with the green handle. And I don't know why I like them. I just like the handle feel to them. Plus the metal tap, because, you know, why use a chisel when you have a screwdriver? Some more specialty stuff. Nut drivers, I don't even know where Autocraft is from. I've got some clutch adjustment tools. You know, some of that stuff's specialty stuff. Pipe wrenches, monkey wrenches. I don't know where I ended up with all those. Pipe cutters are in there too. but I find myself using those a lot. Hammer drawer, all over the place on hammers too. I never got into buying hammers off the tool truck. You know, I've been perfectly fine with, you know, just the stuff from Lowe's. It's missing, but I've got that. Allen and torque, miscellaneous torques. You know, these are old school tools here. You know, I've had these, you know, this is an Inkland tool. I don't know where this came from, but had it for absolutely forever. Starting to rust up a little bit. A lot of people don't like those. They like the stuff on, like, that takes a, you know, socket head on it. I'm fine with those, but I really like, I guess, the T-handle version. Pullers, you know, they're from all over the place. My air tools are all over the place. A lot of Ingersoll Rand, Kobalt. I've got, you know, this Blue Point. I mean, it's just hard to say how many nuts and bolts that thing's taken loose. I think an Ingersoll on my air hammer. You know, of course, now I've switched a lot of my stuff over to Milwaukee, so I'm not too much on the air tools anymore. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, and the thing about it is, you don't have to buy name brand stuff. Watch out, Sammy. You know, on my truck here, I carry a second set of tools. Man, it's hard to open one-handed. You know, the wire cutters, I really like these. You can't see it, but these are Mac. This is an old, I mean, I've had these, forever. You know, I like these strippers. These are Harbor Freight. The Doyles, I think they are. They've been perfect for me. I really like the vice grip handled tools as far as just the readily available stuff you can get. Wrenches, I've been very, very pleased with Tecton Tool. These are Tecton Tool metric standard, and then another gear wrench set. You know, crescent wrenches, they're all over the board. Screwdrivers are the same. For my electrical stuff, I really like Klein. This is a Klein, as is this. But, you know, these were on sale. These are, you know, for the electrical stuff. These are Kobalt, and there's nothing wrong with them. You know, really like the green handled ones. You know, I'm heavy on electrical. Multimeters get you a decent one. The snap-on was a used one I got off the truck. Not as good as Fluke probably, but for the average guy, it works perfectly fine. Power Probe is absolutely incredible tool. And I've got two of them. This is my second or third Power Probe. I've run over one. I left one outside that got wet. I had a cheap no-name one and hated it. Went out and bought the actual Power Probe version. It was just 10,000 times better. Just a hand fill. All my drill bits, some of them, you know, if I'm doing like a bunch of drilling, will come from China. Those are just cheap Kobalt, and they do fine. Like I say, the Milwaukee for the power tools are pretty much what I think is the best. I've got was it charging system tester? That was like $1,000. That's a Medtronics. It's outdated now, but still works perfectly. I've had tons of luck with that. You know, Molex tools or Molex tools to pull out pins and stuff. I went generic. Since my hands are so bad, I've switched everything over to either ratcheting or hydraulic. You know, this is a Chinese set of hydraulic crimpers. I've used that an absolute ton. Never had any problems out of it. And I guess what I'm saying here is, you know, if you're just starting out, don't go buy every tool that you think you might need. Start small. there's nothing wrong with getting a cheap set. You know, let's say you're working on lawn and garden stuff. You don't need a $400 set of wrenches. This set right here, which has good hand feel, I can disassemble pretty much that entire tractor with this, with the exception of 2 different nuts. I think the flywheel nut's bigger than that, and a couple other stuff. And that works perfectly fine. You know, my big wrenches, Pittsburgh, Carlisle, that's from Napa. I needed a 2nd inch and an 1/8, and that's where I bought one. And these have been great. They work great. You know, very little issues out of them. This thing right here has been handy as hell. This is, it just says towing product. It doesn't even say what it's made out of. That's for hitch balls. You know, years I've used it. Never had any problems out of it. These really old ratchets. I even used that one for a while. It was just kind of clunky. That's why I ended up getting rid of it. You know, sockets. Kobalt. I was very happy with them. I used them for a long time. These are some cheaper Kobalts. You know, 12 point if you so need them. Like I say, I typically don't. Pretty much all my stuff is just you know, 6 point. Hole saws. You know, you can buy cheap ones or expensive ones. Most of my stuff is the Linux. Just that's what I've had the best luck to. So, like I say, you know, nothing major. I just wanted to do just a quick tour of my box, you know, before I change a bunch of stuff around. That's pretty much how it's been for 20-something years. And, you know, it's master hand. I think that actually came from Tractor Supply. You know, I'd like to have a Snap-on box or even a U.S. General, you know, something with really nice bearings. And I wish it had a wide drawer in it. But all in all, it's worked perfectly fine and made me a ridiculous amount of money. And I just, you know, you see these videos, and I don't want people thinking they need to go out and buy these, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You just don't need to. You know, there's regular tools that are more affordable. You know, upgrade down the road if you see something you like. You know, the reason I got that Mac ratchet is because I had a friend that had one, and I don't remember what I was working on, but I used it for like a 10-hour job, and I liked the long handle and I liked the fine tooth, so I went out and bought it. You know, that's just kind of how you got to do some stuff. But anyways, you guys be good and be safe, and we'll catch you next time.